Greetings and welcome to the Roach Wiggle, July 25th, 2024. I think we skipped, 1 week? I think 1 week. And boy, what a week it's been. Can't remember why I skipped last week. I probably had something to do. So welcome, everybody. We've got a lot of updates. I'll wait a minute while some folks trickle in. We got Behijager and Stephen Logan. Welcome. Just been working my butt off as per usual, but we got some updates and some traction. And let me go ahead right away and say I had a little visitor on Monday. Mr. Chris Sniper came over to pick up his April auction order and some birds and some other stuff he didn't know he wanted until he got here. So that was pleasant. Wonderful fellow. We had a good time. Hello, Braden. Hello, Laura Taylor. Hello, everybody. I am in good spirits, but also very focused today, task-oriented, getting some things done. Watching this while I'm driving back home. Hello, Alan, Exotic Wilderness. Welcome. Quaramex says, congratulations on the steps forward with the Roach facility. Yes, thank you. That's a big topic of discussion I'll get into when we get a couple more viewers in here, because there is some big movement on that situation. Things are really moving forward on that. But yeah, I was able to do husbandry in here, keeping on top of this, because this is where most of the really, really good, don't lose this stuff, Kyle, roaches are, is in this room. I mean, there's stuff downstairs too. There's stuff everywhere. But it felt good to go in and stay on track for husbandry. 1 month since my last husbandry session. I'm catching up downstairs in the big bug room. I got roaches done, at least the roach racks. Isopods, I just keep kicking the can down the road, and I'm going to get to them probably late tomorrow and Friday. Watering cultures, kind of how it always goes with this, is colonies that were doing well before I stopped doing full husbandry usually continue doing well. Colonies that were on the decline usually continue on the decline. So we're going to see what's going on once I get down there. Is he streaming? I'm just getting a loading sign. No, you might want to refresh, Stephen Logan. We're going. So yes, a lot of things happening here. I'm going to do millipedes again. Surprising, some millipedes are doing very well. There's like I didn't even have to open up the Desmosites planata enclosure. There was like hundreds, maybe over 1,000 in one of the cultures. So those are definitely going up at the auction this weekend, which, by the way, is going to be nuts. 8 p.m. Eastern time, the original posted time. I've edited, I think, everything that said that it was starting later. 8 p.m. Eastern time, the Insanity auction. $1 starting bids on everything, and it's gonna go. We're gonna go fast. We're trying a new approach with this. I'm gonna have a container with all the things prepackaged next to me. Excuse me for one moment, everybody. Angela is calling me. She's out doing grocery shopping. Hello, dear. I'm on the live stream right now. Sparkle. Sparkle would be a good one. Get a big amount of it. Sparkle. All right, love you. Bye. Asking me what brand of paper towel I would like. Circa says hello. Welcome, Circa. For bug stuff, what else? What's going on for cultures? Again, a lot of things. I get wiggle room during the summer for being lax with taking care of stuff, because the air humidity is so high, blah, blah, blah. A lot of stuff just kind of keeps going and is okay without watering and extra food and all that stuff. So some big W's. Both of my Hormetica species have exploded, and the key to Hormetica, I think, is stupid high humidity, to the point where the wet end is probably kind of dripping wet, and the air humidity is very high too. Makes sense for Central South American rainforest stuff. Should have been very intuitive from the beginning, but maybe there's more to it than that too. Maybe there's something else. Maybe it's the new substrate mix I've been using. I don't really think it's that. And Leuci hermetica grossi is doing very well under those same conditions too. I was thrown off with hermetica and Leuci hermetica because my varicosa and subcincta are doing amazing, and their enclosure can get very dry even during the wintertime, and they keep producing. So the fallacy of thinking that, oh, these other members of this genus like it this way, I should be, or genus clade, I should be keeping these that way also. Hello, Joseph Tavir. Good to see you. Pseudoglomerus magnifica, the Kuk Phuongs, and the Vietnam Gold, North Vietnam Golds are doing very well. I've had some, again, this is mostly positive across the board. When I get into isopods, I'm going to start, when I check all those cultures, I'm sure there will be some negatives that I'm going to have to come to terms with. I'm pretty sure I lost my Scaborrhymum culture, so there's that. But the positives are vastly outweighing the negatives. I had a hatch of Loxahatchee lubber grasshoppers already. This is very early for them. Usually it's more like August. I'll start getting hatches out of captive bred stuff that was laid during the spring or winter. So that's good. If there's anybody out there in Louisiana, I do want the huge black locality again. I'm ready to really put some resources into constantly propagating lubbers nonstop. It's something I kind of hesitated to do before and I struggled with, but I'm ready. I'm going to be ready. Hello, Mew and Michael Bradley. We got a good group of people here. Let's see what else. I was just talking about a bunch of stuff doing really well. Reminding me I should message Ty Randall about getting any Rhycida, waiting for that other species of Rhycida to come again. Devin says, I have plenty of Scaborrhymum. I can send you some when you're ready. Thank you, Devin. Yes, it was the group from you. They were doing amazing, and the container just dried out. Because they were a fresher container. There was only maybe 1.5 inches of substrate and not this huge reservoir of moisture like builds up in some of the other bins. So they dried out, and they just stayed dried out. The Cubaris, CF Murina, Borneo, and Armadillidium espagnoli are doing fine, though. For some, I must have overwatered them the last time I took care of them. They were doing fine. A lot of bigger isopods are doing fine. Succinctus, green spots, etc. I had another thing I was going to say I'm really happy about. What was it? I need to share good news. Oh, yes. There is a very extremely rare, you could argue the rarest cockroach in my collection that I have not going public about yet. That I've been sitting on egg cases of this species for almost 2 years. And nobody's saying that the original egg cases that were laid are the ones that are in the enclosure. But, there's a possibility they could be. But anyway, this species, I was ready to give up hope after going through the winter that I was going to get a hatch out of them. And one of the original females is rare in captivity, or both, actually, Eric Matthews. Hey, Eric Matthews, good to see you. And we got Nature Man 494. Thank you for joining in. So anyways, I was ready to just sterilize the bin, reuse it, or get rid of it, or whatever, because it's been 2 years, and it's been getting really humid in the bug room. It's only 59% humidity right now, but there have been some days where it's been pushing like 80% and like 85 degrees. So if you got something that hasn't hatched and is temperature humidity dependent, it's a big hide-eye that started flying. Also, because this room is so warm, all my hide-eye cultures are starting to fly again. It's very obnoxious, but it's whatever. Anyways, this super rare roach, finally, there's newborns popping up, and it must have been this overall bump in humidity and temperature and moisture. There's not many, but again, one of the original females is still alive 2 years later, and it astounds me how long this genus of roach can actually live for, considering their size. It's really mind-boggling and really cool too. So anyways, so we got good news there. I received a couple of restarts of some roaches that I had lost, Pistoplatia orientalis and Paraplaneta japonica. My japonica went on a downward slide. They caught a probably trichoderma fungus, and I thought they were pulling out of it, but I guess I thought wrong. So I got a very large restart of those. Hopefully, that'll probably be fine. It's not Nyctibora, Alan. I wish it was Nyctibora. It's looking like there's a good chance that I might have to go and, I think that maybe the Nyctibora situation, that even though they're from Arizona and it's temperate grassland and all that jazz, I bet they want it humid. I bet they just all around want it humid. I bet they don't even want to like humid, dry cycle. I bet they just want to be humid overall. And that's what I'll probably do if I ever work with that genus again, is I'll just keep them humid the whole time, like even the ooths. See if that'll reduce the hatching time. I have a suspicion that's what will work. Any other good news on anything? I guess my Schnapterodera peltiformis, I think I salvaged both of my cultures of those. I'm not 100% sure yet, but they, I think too much waste built up and I didn't replace the leaves and whatnot fast enough. Nature Man says high humidity, dry substrate seems to be the key for most things nowadays. Yeah, maybe some pseudoscorpions and tobioids. A lot of my Botella are not happy with this humidity in here, though. That's very apparent. And I am not really too concerned. I've made it through enough summers. How are your Testicella doing? They have vanished. They apparently did not like what I gave them, the conditions I was keeping them in, and so both have just disappeared. They turned to ooze or whatever and disappeared in the enclosures. So just something for me to take notes on. And sometimes, most of the time, failure is more important than success with something. At least when you fail with something and you identify what caused the failure, you can avoid that in the future. So I look at it as valuable information if I ever try to work with them again. Circa no idea where mine went either. Both of my pancake slugs are still doing fine. And just today I went to collect some rotten wood at my neighbor down the street's house, and I found, drum roll, I found two, not albino, but two hypopigmented, hypomelanistic Duroceros reticulatum slugs. And so I'm going to start the slug culture, guys. I'm going to do it like I said I did, how I accidentally infested the my old Princessia culture with those, and learned that they actually like it very dry. They basically like it dry all the time, and then a spray in the evening, and then they come up and feed, and then they go back down in the substrate, and they really like that. So I'm hoping to get a feeder line isolated of them, of this hypopigmented. I think it would be good for small slug-eating snakes and whatnot. My Asbolus mexicanus are laying just troves of eggs. I put them in the garage. It's hot and humid in there, and there's just mating everywhere and just piles and piles of eggs. I'm waiting for them to hatch, and I should probably toss some varicosis and some levis out in the same conditions. But I actually we did move last Friday. We were supposed to move all my plants. We didn't move any plants. We moved a bunch of supplies, tubs, fencing, household stuff, with a big 20-foot U-Haul, 2 trips, and there's still plenty of stuff that needs to go. But we got a chunk of things over there, so that's good. Circus says, regarding the Testicella, I'll probably try to get a pre-established slug and worm culture if I ever try again, probably with a lower ventilated container too. Yeah, I think they preferred worms to the gastropods, I think. So there's another thing, is getting a nice worm culture going ahead of time, picking your species and having it be escape proof and all that stuff. That's the other stuff that's doing well. Again, lot of thumbs up lately for things. but I feel like there was one I was super duper excited to share, and I can't remember what it was. We got some Princessia androhamana crosses maturing, males, and they're definitely a cross with the captive stock that I have. It's very apparent when you see the adults. But some of the biggest, most colorful Princessia still have not matured, so I'm hoping those will be more androhamana-like. I'm pretty sure there'll be some like that in the enclosure. Anything else? What am I looking at? Anything here? Oh, I just realized I didn't turn this light on these Princessia. One sec. Oh, it burned out. Cool. This is what I love to see. We love to see that. All right. It's on Princessia black and white. I'm down to just females, but they're all very fat. Traditionally, we keep histers very dry. I'm starting to think that Groundflorina Princessia prefer more humidity than Elliptorina. Like Elliptorina will breed and be very happy with like very dry air, and that Groundflorina and Princessia really want more moisture in there. And Ailuropoda will do fine with dry air too. Zen Monkey says Akuna Matata. Hello. Fortioica, they're just kind of going along. I took them off of the heat they were on in the basement, and I actually moved them to right here so I could keep a closer eye on them. And there's babies, but the weird thing is Fortioica, like sometimes I'll just have like first through third instar nymphs for months and they won't do anything. And I'm trying to figure out what the catch is there. We'll see what happens. Who else is doing well? I do have something I'm very sad about, and that is my Pacnota skulka are not doing well at all. I think I'm down to like 2 adult females and maybe no males. If anybody out there has Pacnota skulka, I could really use an adult male or just a restart of like 8 larvae. Please let me know. Javier Adriensen. Hello, I don't think I've seen you here before, Javier. Welcome. I still need to send you the bumblebee millipedes before they crash. Let me know. Oh, hey, that Javier. Hello, yeah. Shoot me a text and we can work that out. This weekend's going to be crazy, but yeah, send me a text and we can move forward with that stuff. Good to see you in the stream, by the way. I had completely forgotten about that with all the stuff that's going on, which should lead me to the next point. We have an estimate for the building. I don't think I had that before when I was at the last live stream. We have a estimate of cost for the buildings. It's a lot, but it's within my expected budget for the building. And there's some things that I still need, and I need to get back to the builder on these other specifics. So everything is progressing there. On Tuesday night, Angela and I went to the Springfield Township town hall meeting. It was mostly about the animal ordinances, but they also did a little something with waste management after that. But the main thing was the animal ordinances. And so we went there. I got to say my piece. I took up way too much time. I just kept going, as you guys know I do. I just kept rattling on and on. And at the end of it, I think it was the chair of the council or whatever said, so usually we only let people talk for about 3 minutes. And then I was like, I just kind of recoiled and was like, I'm sorry. And I was able to get like the last of my points in. But I brought roaches with me, and I brought quails and silky chickens and australorps to show the size differences in the poultry and why quails should not be included in the poultry count. Also make an argument for allowing bantam-sized breeds maybe in their own category to help people if they want to have more birds versus bigger birds, even in chickens and ducks category. So the meeting, it went really long, and they realized that a lot of the parcels in the township that are zoned for agriculture, most of them are non-conforming to the size, the aspect ratio, the width by length that they have for lots. They realize that there's nothing they can do to change that now. That's just how the township is. And they realize they do this. They did this overlay with ArcGIS supplemented materials with 100-foot setbacks from dwellings, 100-foot from the road, 200-foot blah blah blah, 25 feet from the property line, and they basically end up showing what this property looks like and the space that you could use for a permanent structure for livestock ends up being like this little ridiculous tiny thing in the center of the property to meet all these setbacks and whatnot requirements. And they realize that's silly and they want to see what they can do to not do that. There was a I'm gonna use a cuss word, everybody. There was a boomer in there who was complaining about his neighbor having horses and they have too many and they smell and blah blah blah, and valid points. Personally, I did not like the way the gentleman talked. He sounded very full of himself and very like, I'm ready to make a point, and my point is obviously correct, so I'm going to be a little facetious about everything. Did not appreciate that, but valid concerns with odor and whatnot with his neighbor and all that jazz. But the after he left, the council recognized that if you have animals, even if you have dogs, like one of the members on the council was saying that they have a situation in their neighborhood right now where their neighbor has 3 dogs, and you can have 1 billion dogs. That's what the ordinance says. They're domestic household pets. You can have 1 billion dogs. There's no limit. But they're causing an odor problem because the owners don't pick up after them. So, you know, you can't escape this. If you allow people to have animals, they also have to take care of them and minimize odor, etc. And no amount of setback is going to offset that to satisfy everybody and all this stuff. So they acknowledge stuff like with this agricultural farming stuff, it's going to be an issue no matter what. Somebody's going to do whatever, but when you have 7.5 acres, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to have 2 horses, basically. So meeting went well. They discussed all that stuff. They are months away from coming to an agreement on what they want to do with these animal ordinances. I may go to the next meeting. I will stay posted with them. The invertebrate ordinance thing that they put in seemed fine, and it's very unlikely anybody will take issue with that. They passed around the roach container. Everybody got to see the roaches. I talked about roaches, and you know, if you've got pest roaches, you've got bigger problems, and you know, all that stuff. So that was the meeting. It went very late. It was by the end of it, they definitely all wanted to be out of there. But after they adjourned, and obviously you're on the clock, you have to be professional, etc. After they adjourned, they all, or I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 of them swarmed me and were saying, "Oh, we got to have you do presentations at the library, and you know, oh, this would be great for, you know, we got to have people tour this facility and blah blah blah." And then they were picking up the chickens and saying, "Oh, the Silky is so cute," and blah blah blah. And like, "Oh, they've been so quiet," and all that stuff. So it went very well. I think things are going to go fine for me. We're going to go ahead, even before they pass these ordinances, we're going to go ahead and build the bug building because it seems very likely that things will go through and be fine. And they can't say that they're going to be, but they did say it's very likely and that they would, if they were in my position, go ahead with doing that. Eric Matthews says, I always thought the animal ordinances should be by total weight, not number. They have a component of that in there. There's different brackets of size livestock. Like there's the very large size, which is stuff like bison and cattle and market pigs and llamas. And there's some brackets that break it up into having these different size classes of things. So they are considering that. That's already been taken into account. So anyways, yes, everything is going very well all around, and I'm very happy about that. This is not the battle that it seemed like it was going to be, and I'm very grateful for that. the gears are moving very smoothly. A person says, I missed the first part of the stream, but it seems like the meeting went well. I'm glad. Yes, the summary is the meeting went very well. And so has everything else, like getting the price quotes, etc. And I got to read that email still from the builder and see what he has said about my commentary on some other things. But they're going to be able to hook up some water, some pressurized water in places I needed it, which will save us having to call somebody else out to do that, because they're going to have to dig up the line to the barn and run that out to the Roach building. So they're going to make some stops and segregate that and do some other things with it that I needed done. And 300 pounds of roaches, says Eric Matthews. Yeah, that'd be a very hard thing to quantify, honestly. Zero Cool Ninja says, what's up, man? I'm finishing my work and will be listening live. Can't wait for the auction to be done in 7 minutes. Oh, yeah. Has it been 7 minutes since I started rambling? I don't know. The auction is going to be crazy, everybody. I have already packed up 10 items, so it's looking like this auction will probably be 100 items bare minimum. It's probably going to be a 200, 300 item auction. And for those who don't know, what we're going to be doing this auction is a new approach to save me a lot of headache, other people, all the auctioneers a lot of headache with, this wasn't packed. Oh, this needs to be substituted. Oh, I'm behind on this. The orders will be pre-packed when I auction them. I don't think I will have time to sit here and be like, ooh, odd, every single cup. Maybe not. We'll see how I get into things. But everything will be a $1 starting bid. Everything is pre-packaged in a shipping cup. So when you win, I will write down your Discord name on the cup. We will do things in groups, and a cup will go into another container. Angela will come in here, take the container out to the other room. She will sort the wins by Discord name and put them into piles. And then that will be it. Everything will be ready to ship Saturday night. Sunday, I will go through, do a double check, do a little feed, do a water, whatever, package things into boxes and make labels for shipping on Monday/Tuesday. So this could revolutionize the auction, make it a lot less work on me and a lot less stressful, annoying, etc. for all of you. And I think it has some heavy potential to front load things like this, and I'm very excited to try it. Full stop. Zen Monkey says, I only have 300 pounds of roaches. I'm 5 times better. Tag my neighbor who owns a 1,500-pound horse. Really? 300 pounds of roaches? Do I have 300 pounds of roaches right now? I probably have about 200 pounds of roaches. I would say I probably have about 200 pounds, at least, minimum, in the house. Will there be a list and order of auction items? Can't stay for the whole auction. No, it's going to be kind of all over the place, but things will be loosely clustered with each other. So there'll be isopods will mostly be together, roaches will mostly be together, millipedes will mostly be together, so on and so forth. Again, mostly it's not guaranteed. And I have no idea what order they're going into. I just barely got a couple of things packed up tonight. So a person says, this sounds like it'll work well. Probably helps prevent mix-ups like I did the wrong Miracatum. There won't be people going, what about my one thing? I should really put, though, I cannot split orders because they're already packed up. Then I have to stop and say, okay, well, half goes to this person. You get the cup. So yeah, this should save everybody a lot of heartache, a lot of hassle. I'm looking forward to it. Trying to think again. I had something I was really excited about, and the thing I was really upset about was losing my Pachnota skulka. Very distressing because I do really like that species. They're not 6 feet under just yet. I have those 2 females at least that have been very active and seem healthy and fine. They could have been mated. They could not be mated. I don't know. But if anybody is working with Patnona Skulka, please contact me if you have any available. I'm desperate. Circus says, I'm not sure if you put this in the rules and missed it, but do you allow payment plans? I'm very judgmental and picky about that. The best way is to bring it up in your email, but in general, I like giving people the benefit of the doubts, and being patient in some respect, because people were very patient with me getting auction orders out, but I have to be cautious and judiciously interpret them on a case-by-case basis. That's what I have to say. It will be fun to see the cup during the auction. Yeah, that you say that, but you may just see just paper towel. That's it. Where are the Patnota you lost from? Where did my Skulka come from? Let's look it up right now in my master list. Where they originally came from is a person who I don't want to draw attention to their name, but it will be up on Roach Crossing in the future when the site does these auto downloads of my file here. From somebody in the state who no longer has anything to do with beetles. So I'm not getting any from her because she does not keep beetles anymore. And I've had them since 2019. I can't believe, it's so sad when you've had something for that long. And I really should have, I wish I had just grabbed some of the fresh adults when they were popping up in the enclosure and just tossed them in a new one instead of keeping them on the old substrate. Are you still going to buy an autoclave, says Bahijager? 100% yes. I'm going to get the biggest one I can get from this company that looks good. That company being Midwest Grow Kits. I was looking at the 150 liter autoclave. I'm probably going to get the size up, and I'm not going to do that until I move. I don't want to have to lug that equipment from here to there. I'm going to do it after I move, I think, unless me heating stuff up in the oven and all that stuff drives Angela even more crazy, which it could. But Exile Williams says Kyle's hair throughout the stream slowly progresses to get messier. Yeah, I will probably be cutting my hair in a couple of weeks. So Devin says, just spent $3,200 getting the car fixed, so I won't be able to participate in the auction. It's killing me. That sucks. That sucks a lot, coming from somebody who did just have major car repair stuff and it was free. A person says, if I'm ever in Somalia, I'll let you know. Eric Matthews says, just see paper towel like when I got my Spinoza until I looked through everything. Good enough. Yeah, that's the problem, especially with small stuff, or it's not just seeing the paper towel because what you're looking at is small. It's also because stuff will burrow into the center and get into the creases and the crevices, etc. Xavier Willis says, don't forget to like the stream. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. Anyways, it's also because if I show a container of dirt, like I was packing some Panethia earlier for the auction, and they're all burrowed into the dirt/wood substrate, that's all you see. You're just going to see a jar of dirt, basically. So, yeah. What else was I going to say? Oh, Exotic Wilderness. I sicked you on getting Zealous Luridus, and I still do want them if you find them, if you can find me a good group. But I was helping my neighbor clean his garage yesterday, and I was over there, and I got my work done for the day, and I haven't seen him in a while. We was catching up, and we were supposed to just stand there and basically let my goats graze through his front yard, and it ended up being cleaning out his garage, which is fine. I like that. He gave me some stuff, some tarps, some fencing, some pots, etc. But I went there's a black locust, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 feet tall, and I snapped the stem, and I was going to give it to the goats because they like it. Some sources say it's toxic to them. Other sources say they love to eat it, just don't let them eat too much. They did really like it. But I snapped the stem, and on the undersides of the leaves, it's kind of a high contrast, it's like a whitish green, there was a zealous egg cluster. I think there's only 2 species in Michigan, so it could be Luridus or it could be I think it's a brown one, which I guess I would keep just because. But I kept it. it was like, wow, I was just complaining how I don't have this, and here it is. But again, it could be that brown one I don't necessarily really want that much. I kept it anyways. It could be Luridus, but I still do want Zealous Luridus. I still do. I love my Longipes. I do still need the one from Homestead with the stripy legs, but these Montgomery, Alabama ones have been great. Some of those will be up for auction, probably a group of like 20 or something. A person says, do you have any unexpected good news with bugs doing well? A person, I rattled off a whole list of stuff that's doing well earlier. It's just the Pachnota and some Echinoptera that aren't doing well. I found a dead oozy adult male Echinoptera, CF Echinoptera Panama earlier, and I got to break into that culture and pick out. Hopefully they're doing well, and that was just a male dying of old age. But I think I'm going to pick them out, the remaining ones out, and put them into like one of these medium faunariums and go from there. Before I answer respond to some other stuff here, does anybody have a contact with Aqueon Aquariums? I've sent them contact stuff twice, and I haven't heard back from them. I want to buy 100 10-gallon and 5.5-gallon aquariums for delivery to the new bug building, because I think I know a way I can make the move a lot easier than it would be moving all of these glass tanks, but I need glass tanks there, and I want to outfit them with water ports like I do the faunariums. So if anybody has contacts at Aqueon or another manufacturer, because I know these webs of contacts, somebody's got to know somebody, please let me know. I would like a direct line to them. I may end up calling customer service and basically say, hey, I want to be a supplier, and then just buy 100 of each for now or something. Circus said they said about some of their roaches doing well earlier in the video. Yes, a lot of stuff is doing well overall. There's a couple of things that are concerning or troubling me, but in the face of all the good that's happening, it's little difficult to dwell on it too much. I am very distressed about the Pachnota Esculca situation, though. So if anybody has leads on that, please let me know. Circus says, as someone who keeps Elaniscus, any possible tips on Elaniscus oensis? I would just set them up like Perconvexus, honestly. I need to get Perconvexus again, too. I don't know if I brought this up in the stream, but I didn't sterilize my sand when I set them up. And they did fine and were dominant for a while, but some Vulgari that were in the original sand actually outcompeted them and wiped out the Perconvexus. And I not like I could pull out the Vulgari because they would go down the tunnels the Perconvexus would make. So I should have disrupted the whole enclosure and took them out, but time, etc. It happens. Hopefully it won't happen as much once I've moved to the new building. I have some ideas on how to stocking up on supplies is a good way to prevent that. It's very easy to set up a backup culture or move things when you have a bunch of spare enclosures, which I don't always have, is the bottom line. Do you want me to try grabbing some before I send the Liridablata? Some Elaniscus perconvexus? Yeah, I would not. I do have a couple of spare 5.5 gallons right now. I wouldn't mind tossing them into something. I could go for that. That wouldn't be so bad, I don't think. I'm not gonna take pre-orders on this. This guy who's selling them hasn't ever contacted me before, so who knows what I'll end up with or if they'll even be alive. But I'm gonna stock for retail. I doubt I'm gonna do anything with them. Maybe I'll throw some females on some sand, but I'm gonna stock some greater arid land katydids, Neoboretia spinosa. Not the other one, not the Victoria. I'm gonna stock some Spinosa. So if anybody is interested in working with them, trying some pairs, let me know. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mess around with it. Of course, YouTube closed captions will murder all these Latin names. Yeah, that's funny. Hello, Zero Cool Ninja. Welcome back. I think we're gonna run this stream to an hour today. Again, you guys are gonna have me 4+ hours this weekend. It's going to be a crazy auction. I would not be surprised if in some ways it surpasses the Bugapaloozas, these insanity auctions. Again, dollar starting bids on everything. And I'm going to try and go fast. Maybe only spend 30 seconds on stuff. We'll see how it's going to go. Hello, Jonathan Green. I saved my monies for this. That was a good decision. I mean, right now, it's not too far from the truth to say that I have Pseudoglomerus magnifica coming out my ears. Like this humid air and the vented setups, they are just cranking out babies right now. I actually have 2 cultures of them. I'll show off one. Let's look at it real quick. And I'm just itching to move my North Vietnam golds into their own enclosure. I don't know if you're going to be able to see much. Oh, yeah, there's a good number of them there. You know, for all that you see, there's many, many more that remain unseen. This is the smaller culture, too. I would show the other one, but it's got a bunch of fruit flies on it and also no barrier. I might be able to see a couple of them. Maybe over here. No, they're all underneath the stuff. They're satiated, so they're mostly hiding. But yeah, they're doing really, really well. Eucharidia, there's a good chance. I'll have at least 2 species of Eucharidia up for auction as well. I might even have a couple of 100 counts of Eutherhapa. It's amazing what happens when you water them and feed them. Unlike I think it was last summer that I crashed the Eutherhapa pacifica, and then they rebounded from, I don't know, 30-ish individuals. There's like maybe a couple thousand in there now. It's crazy. A person says the auction thumbnail goes hard. Yes, that was the intention, and we can thank Jojo Macro for making that wonderful thing. I loosely described what I wanted, and he was able to just slap it all together in like that. Wonderful. Zero Cool Ninja asks, how are the bioluminescent beetles doing? The post office did me dirty. All I have is larvae. The Ignolator don't live a terribly long time, but I have the substrate with the larvae in it. TJ works with a lot of glowing click beetles as well. I really want the huge South American ones, which he says he's a year or years off from having available again, which is good. I'll have the bug building and I can really accommodate them then. This is why I need a list. I have to look up all these species. Gosh, these Hydae are so obnoxious right now. Again, the testament to how warm it's getting in this room at the moment. My Drosophila Hydae cultures are all producing flighted individuals. The higher temperature uncoils this protein in their wings that disables their flight. So if they grow up in conditions that are over something like, I think it was like 87 degrees Fahrenheit, they're fully able to fly. They still have the mutation. The uncoiling of the protein is not heritable. It's a physiological thing that happens. A lot of stick bugs doing well. I might have a very early crop of Anisomorpha buprostoides Ocala, Florida ready. I don't think I've seen any eggs, but I have adults of both sexes now. So I don't think I'll be auctioning those off, but almost certainly if there's a fall auction or something similar, I will do that. Have you ever considered carnivorous plants in the bug? Yes. Sorry, a person asking about carnivorous plants in the bug room to cut down on random flying pests. Yes, and they all did not do well in here. I tried some butterworts and some sundews, etc. The problem is the humidity in here changes very drastically, as does the lighting over the course of the year. So they did not do well here. In the future, I have some other plans on ways to cut down on that, and I think I'm going to have some pretty good successes. And also, it's not so much that the Hydae are a pest necessarily of their own accord. It's the fact that I opened up the container to feed the Zealous, and a bunch of them flew out. This was going to happen. It's kind of unavoidable. Let's see, other stuff that's doing well. I gotta think what's going on downstairs. All kinds of cool stuff for the auction. Again, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. And boy, I'm so excited for Angela. She's getting some stuff from the store to bring home. I need something hydrating. Let's see. Anything about what's come in today lately? Again, I was kind of dreading checking my millipedes. I haven't checked on them since like mid-May, like May the 13th or something, and we're going on August now. And then I checked the Desmosites planata, and again, there was like over 1,000 in there. So now I'm a little excited to check the other cultures, but I'm also prepping wood. It's in the stove. I hope my house is not burning down behind me. I put it on a lower temperature than usual, but maybe I should go check. I'll be right back. Just a quick second. All right, my house is not burning down. I have opened up the oven to flames and smoke before. It wouldn't be the first time if it happened, but anybody else got some good news? Good new projects? Good results in a colony? Alan said, yet house has not burned down yet. I can't wait to rule out fire hazards with a completely steel building. It's going to be great. Jonathan Green has a bunch of Photinus library. That was it. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to breed the Duroceras, was for raising fireflies. That's great, Jonathan. I think they really like Duroceras. Duroceras are like the least defended slug in Michigan. Like Arion and the giant leopard slugs, etc., produce a lot of mucus and it's weird colors and it smells kind of weird. But Duroceras just kind of seem like little like plump meat packets in terms of slugs. So that's why I wanted them, and of course, just to have a cool. If I'm going to have them, I'm going to have a nifty color while I'm at it. So, well, yeah, that was the main purpose. I thought I would start a slug culture, introduce fireflies, and question mark profit. Duroceras have very runny slime as their defense, says New. Yeah, that might be it. It's not a very good defense. Decay snakes love them. I'm pretty sure firefly larvae love them. Garter snakes love them. They won't really touch the Arian and the I think it was Aerial Limax was the genus for giant leopard slugs. So I'm not complaining. But Hijiger says, I'm glad you mentioned the lubbers happen. I better check the eggs from the auction. Yeah, it could be any day now. Just one cup so far. And I brought them up here. They were downstairs in the storage room, which is really not that much colder than the main bug room at the moment. But I brought them up here so that I could keep an eye on them. And then I was complaining to Angela about how much stuff I constantly have to do and how I was almost done with it. And then I looked over and here's a hatched cup of lubber eggs. So will fireflies eat maggots? I'm not sure, Eric Matthews. That'd be an interesting experiment. Jonathan Green says, I may have Duroceras, but can't tell if feeding the Photinus African nightcrawler. I forgot those things existed. That might be a good feeder worm for like the Testicella. I might have to get some of those African nightcrawlers from you eventually. Circa says, my Eludes litter. I'm going to assume that's Eliodes littoralis have started pupating. I'm going to assume. Limax, okay. Thank you, a person. Limax is leopards and relatives. Aerial Limax is banana slugs. Another thing I would like to try again is banana slugs, with my my primary suspicion being that they just make so much ammonia that they just melt themselves and whatnot. And that by dumping a bunch of prilled dolomite into the substrate regularly, that can be planned for and offset the ammonia / nitrogen production. Jonathan Green says, in my opinion, African night crawlers are the absolute best feeder worm. I'm going to disagree with you there, and I'm going to look up this, see if the Guide to Worms of the UK Earthworm Identification. There is a very There's two of them. Black-headed worms, Aporectodia longa, and the redhead worm, Lumbricus rubellus, and lobworms, or is that what they use for night crawlers? Pale earthworm. This is a horrible. I am butchering all of this. I'm looking for this one worm that's an excellent feeder. It basically everything I dig out of the compost except for the Aminthos, the Asian forest worms. Those are garters will eat them, but when I was younger, I'm pretty sure I poisoned. I think it was Western terrestrial garter snakes feeding them the Aminthos. The red wigglers are horrible feeders. I think there's a giant red wiggler and a regular red wiggler. I think most stuff in the genus Icenia, I think, is just not good. Here's a for sure good one that I've used. The blue gray worm, Octolasian cyanium. That's a good one. The gray worm, Aporectodia calignosa. The rosy tipped worm, Aporectodia rosea. Chestnut worms are pretty good. Lumbricus castaneus. The genus Lumbricus is just pretty good all around. But the green worm, again looking at this, the Alolobophora chlorotica, stuff doesn't like that. And then there's another one of these worms that has a green form, unless it's that. Yeah, they don't like that, whatever that is, whatever's up with the green worms, the green form of the green worm. They eat the standard, the pale form just fine, but the green form they just don't like. I think it has a weird smell to it. So anyways, it's a foray into worms. I would love to keep some worms at some point. I would love to keep some North American native worms. It's on my list of to-dos. Alan asking about my Eleodes acuta. No, I actually lost the container that had the two adults that I matured that I'm supposed to send to TJ. And I have a suspicion it's on my beetle shelf, which I'm going to check. I'm going to be checking on tomorrow. There's also Ambigolimax, which are 3-band slugs, says Mew. A person says the nice thing about banana slugs is that all but one are confirmed federally legal, so you can sell them openly. Interesting. What's the one that isn't? Very interested in that. My kids handled banana slugs and took all day to wash off all the mucus. Yeah, the mucus, says Eric Matthews. The mucus is pretty bad. It's not as bad as leopard slug, though. That stuff, you need like a Brillo pad and all kinds of stuff to get off. Completely deregulated earthworms got into my bin full of Tylobolus eggs and ate everything. Yes, that is a bad thing for earthworms. Some of them really do churn up the substrate. And I think these ones I was talking about that make good feeders do not rarely infest bins. They don't like those conditions. I think is the endangered one. What's the endangered banana slug species? I'm curious what species that is. Maybe it's the Santa Barbara, probably one of these restricted range species, maybe. I don't know. Here's a Areolimax californicus costaricensis. Is there actually banana slugs in Costa Rica? That would imperiled California banana slug, Areolimax californicus from Nature Serve. So maybe it's that species. Maybe. Yeah, I do want to work with them again. We've gotten off the Ecdysozoa to the Lophotrochozoa discussion here. Oh, that's a beautiful sunset, but too bright. Columbianus aren't allowed. Okay, interesting. Which again, it's not part of the imperiled one. Are you sure it wasn't Californicus? Maybe. Areolamex columbianus were excluded, but they're the most sensitive anyway. Definitely not endangered. I believe they're one of the most cited snails on INET. They are absolutely everywhere. Yeah, so it sounds like I need the California ones apparently to try and work with. Probably higher heat tolerance anyways, you know. Yeah, I really. Oh, he's giving me. I peeked at the builder email, everybody. I peeked at it, and I got some choices for what color the building can be. Let's see: forest green, Hawaiian blue, burgundy, polar white, gallery blue. Gallery blue looks like what I want the outside of Roach Crossing to look like. And then on the inside, I don't know if I want to go. Anybody's thoughts on a light colored steel walls on the inside or dark colored? I feel like light, I'll see every flaw and feature, and dark will hide a lot of that, but also the building will look a lot darker. Anybody got some opinions on that? McCheeseburger, welcome. Mew says the Columbianas are in Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, so definitely probably warmth tolerant ones would be the California species. Diana Steffens, welcome. Finally found interest in my Paranophyta basalis and Eustagasta buprostroides colonies during today's maintenance. So yay. Also greetings from Germany. Welcome. That is wonderful news. One of those species we very sparingly have in the U.S., and I always love a good Paranophyta. I wish that I still had the Rufipes that I had a while ago, but I'm happy to say that both my Lirata and my Formosana are doing phenomenal currently. So that's great to hear. Just love Paranophyta. Great genus. A person says the further south you go, the more tolerant they get. Mine only died because of a lapse in feeding routine. I had one of the California ones in like 2016 or 17. I was feeding them pretty much just dog food and apples, and they did spectacular. So yeah, I'm excited to try it again. But yeah, I got some options for the bug buildings. The contractor builders working on getting gas to the building. I was convinced out of using solely electrical. I originally wanted gas and electrical, obviously, but I was kind of on the fence that, maybe I'll get whatever those splitter units are. But I think it's the safe play into the future to have both as an option, at least for now. A person says they love protein regarding the banana slugs. One of the adults had a big bite mark on it when I came back. That's so sad. Let's see. I'm just going to read you guys this email from the builder, who came recommended from Darren, who produced Victor by Gomper, and he's having a lot of work done right now. So Bahijager says, how are the Arima Blada doing? They're not. I've completely lost them. I never even produced any. I never even found an ooth. And I think if I work with them again, I'm going to try a low ventilation, dry substrate setup. I think I'm going to try that. Or I might not use their indigenous substrate. I may try my yard sand stuff and set them up like a typical Aranavega. I don't know. I don't know what exactly I did wrong, etc., but I will be trying them again. Anyways, here's the email from the builder, everybody. We have. I asked about getting additional outlets put in. The 8 ceiling receptacles are for your lights only. We will need to add another circuit if you'll need additional outlets for something besides lights. It's not a problem. I'm reaching out to a couple HVAC guys to get an estimate on the gas line. I'll keep you updated on that. I will adjust the price on the water to exclude the sink, and I'm okay if you want to do the French drain as well. I'm going to be doing the drainage stuff for the building. And I'll attach the color choices for you. I have physical samples of these colors also if you want to see them in person. I don't really care. And finally, asked if I have propane or natural gas out there, and I'm pretty sure it's natural gas, so that will probably make things very easy. So that's everybody's news from the battlefield with respect to the building going up. Again, 2,500, although there's some pre-made kit things that if I shave off some square footage, it'll save me a substantial amount of money. And so I think it's probably going to be very, very close to 2,500 square feet, but maybe not exactly 2,500, which is how much we're allotted on extra space. I was also going to put something off the back of the building for doing work outside. The price for that is very high because it would entail a concrete slab. And I was also told that if I ever was able to or wanted to add on to the building, having the concrete slab there would be a detriment. So we're going to nix that, and I'm probably just going to put up a canopy or something out there and maybe just do gravel or crushed rock or something, or big mats, big rubber mats or something out there instead, to save a lot of money and to open up the potential for expanding the building in the future if it came to that. So, yeah, it's coming along, everybody. We're getting somewhere. And hopefully, again, by December, I'll be streaming from the new office. That'd be nice. And everything all will be well with the world for some time. We are currently at the hour mark. It's lovely to see everybody attending, liking, commenting, etc. I'm happy a lot of people are excited for the auction. It's going to be great for everybody, I think. The quick turnaround time, dollar starting bids, at a time where I really need finances for all this crazy stuff going on is very appreciated. So, with that being said, everybody, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to see if Angela's home again or whatnot, and hopefully get some food, get a little bit more work done, and get ready for this Saturday. So take care, everybody. Thanks again. It was good seeing everybody, spending some time. Again, I love coming to you all with good updates. I'm going to look up Cicindula punctulata really quick. Oh, yeah. Contact me more about your success with the Cicindula, Jonathan. All right, everybody. Take care. I'll see you all Saturday. And until then and beyond, may your cultures ever be bountiful. Goodbye, everybody, until Saturday night.